Well, look at that. Tailgate is saved. All right, as you guys saw in the video last week, you saw that our giveaway truck is finished, and I absolutely ruined it. Ruined it. But this is a video that's gonna teach you exactly how to fix what I ruined. Welcome to learning how to cut a run out with Robby 101. It's actually not a run, it's a sprint, and I'll show you. So as you can see here, look, we have a run that goes from here all the way to there. That's a sprint. We have an icicle here. We have a drip here. Whoop, little baby one there. There.
2,000 years later.
Here, and here. And as you might see, it looks awful. And one might assume that this is ruined. Like I assumed that night when I absolutely wanted to throw up because I ruined it. But have no fear. We have a skill set and we have tools inside this shop that will allow us to fix this. So let's get this truck inside and let's show you how to fix a run. Step by step, every single thing you need, grit by grit, every block I'm gonna use, all of the above stuff. There's nothing above, but anyway, we're gonna go teach you guys. So welcome to class. Have you guys heard about the ultimate C10 giveaway that we're doing at robbylayton.com? Well, if you haven't, now you've heard about it. So right behind me, we have a 1972 Chevy C10 short bed that once used to be a long bed. That's right, we just cut this truck down. We rebuilt it the exact way that I would build my dream truck if I was gonna keep it. But I'm not keeping it, I'm giving it away to you. And this week only at robbylayton.com, for every $5 you spend, not only are you getting entered to win this beautiful truck, you're getting entered to win this $500 brand new handmade Robby Layton edition Bluetooth speaker. Every $5 you spend buying a hat, a shirt, a hoodie, a sticker, one of our brand new patches, or anything else on the site, you're not only getting entered into our ultimate Chevy C10 giveaway, you're getting entered this week to win this speaker. Have I told you guys how amazing this truck is? Well, if I haven't told you, we've been living under a rock. It's amazing, and check this out. That's a purple long bed. They're both C10s. One is not like the other. One, commenters have said the wolves got a hold of, which I guess I am the wolf. But I don't believe that because I'm using a skill that I've crafted my entire life to build this vehicle. And showcasing a skill set is not wolvery, okay? I made the truck cool. I did what I wanted to do. This truck was for sale on Marketplace for like 6 months. Nobody wanted to buy it, so I bought it. And I did what I felt was the best thing to do for it. Now it's short bedded. Now I'm giving it away to somebody. But what I did do, which is some wolvery, is I ran the tailgate. And that is unacceptable behavior. And so that's why we're here. That's why you guys have come to my class on how to fix my runs. I'm a perfect person. I only do perfect things. And when I'm imperfect like this, it's not good. Let's go learn how to be even perfecter. All right, so we've got the truck. Stop. Hi. So here's the trick. Call Hector, have him come in. Just kidding. So we've got the truck on a lift. Now I'm gonna be doing this in my chair because I wanna get right up and close, and I've got a light set up so I can actually watch what I'm doing. So, I just noticed I've got a signature up there too. Oh, that's nice, super nice. Oh, and of course I got one there too. Oh, even nicer. Wow, nice. So, really got my work cut out on this one, but this is fixable. So a lot of people could take and sand this down and just re-clear coat it. But my friend, Jason Kilmer, he said, don't flow coat. I didn't know that was an issue, but anyway, so I'm gonna listen to him. So we're not gonna flow coat. We are just going to repair the third coat of clear that we put on this. So I've got all my sanding grits set up. I've got all my blocks behind me. I've got an assortment of buffers, but most of the detail work is gonna come from sanding. We're gonna start with 600 grit on a little acrylic block. Now, you're gonna see all these blocks in a second, but the one block that I'm gonna use the most comes from my pocket, my 3-inch block. So this is just a 3-inch by 1 inch wide by 1/2 inch thick acrylic block tool. So I'm gonna put sanding paper on it, and we're just gonna. And what we're gonna do first is we're gonna get a nice scratch on this, and then we're going to guide coat it. We're using a specific guide coat that sticks to clear coat that's sanded and doesn't wash off with water. It's called Mirka brand. I'm going to show you that here in a minute. We'll show you all the grits we're going to go through, but the first one we're going to start with is 600. I'm going to try to do as much as I can with this block, but then we're going to have to get into some detailing blocks. Look at how small that is. Okay, there's foam, and it's hard. Got that one. I've got this one, and these are all Jason Kilmer detail blocks. Look, he even built me one and signed it in 2022 when I met him. So, anyway, we've got an assortment of different ones here. All shapes, sizes, contours, textures, foam densities, red, green, long, flimsy, pure foam. This is a hard foam, this is a soft foam. All sorts of different blocks. So, these all have their place. Anyway, we're going to be using a bunch of different ones. So, as we sand, I'm going to tell you guys what I'm using. We'll sand everything in one grit, and we'll wipe it all down, and we'll guide coat it, and we'll sand every single thing in another grit. And we're only going to do about 3 steps that are going to be sanding and actually blocking down this clear coat. 600, 800, and 1,000 are going to be getting it flat. 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, 8,000 is going to be deleting the scratches that we put in by flat sanding.
Wow.
This is why buffing is so fun. Now, for the rest of the truck, I am not going to buff the rest of this truck.
It looks good.
But Jason Kilmer has agreed to come spend 6 days here.
He's going to buff
sand
the
and
whole
polish
thing?
the entire truck. So
Holy
we're going to fly him
moly.
in about a month after this is cured out for about a month. And he's going to go through and he's going to tune it up. Now, this truck realistically doesn't need buffed. Super clean. It's super nice. It's really straight. It is a good paint job. Good quality paint job. So, anyway, without further ado, check this out. So I have all my blocks here. I have my Rupes mini detail buffer in this box. Love this little guy. This is going to be for getting in all those hard to reach spots. In the letters, I've got my Bigfoot 15. This has got my 5-inch pad on it. Now this is a DA style polisher. This is my Milwaukee DA style polisher. This has a pretty harsh throw on it. This is a 21. So they have different millimeter throws. This is my rotary Milwaukee mini 3-inch buffer. And then we have my Harbor Freight trusty old Bauer rotary. Rotary means it just spins. When it spins at a different RPM, we're gonna run it at about 16 to 1800 RPM. We're gonna spin this baby into oblivion. Now, let's come over here to my other table. Now, for those of you that like to skip ahead, don't skip ahead because you'll miss steps, okay? Just watch this video in its entirety so that you will be a skilled, detail-oriented, run polishing extraordinaire when you're done. So we got our 600 wet, our 800 wet, we have 1,000 grit, 1,500 grit, 2,000 grit. We have 2,500 if we want. We have 3,000 and 8,000. We have 3-inch, 5-inch, and 6-inch pads. 6-inch rotary. Now these 5-inch pads, this is going to go on our DA style polisher. There's a microfiber cutting pad from Oberk. This is a medium pad for polishing. So this is going to be like what we use our sole polish. So this is a medium grit. And then we've got our red, which is a fine polish pad. And we're going to use our step number 2 Supreme polish on. So everything we're using today is from Oberk Supreme Car Care. I love their cut number 1. It cuts super good. For the hard to get stuff, we've got our Mirka lamb's wool, but I think we're going to be able to get a lot of it out with this Oberk extra cut pad. It's a 6-inch by 1-inch silk and wool, kind of a double blend. And then trusty Mirka guide coat. So if the black doesn't show up on the blue, I'll go get white, but I think the black's going to work. So here we have it. Oh, and don't forget your H2O. You've got to have water because this is going to be wet sanding. So without further ado, let's get some 600 grit and let's get to my least favorite part of life.
Sanding?
And let's sand.
You like normal sanding or wet sanding better?
I actually just like sanding. I lie. I really like it. I'm gonna tweak out for the next couple hours and just sand my little life away.
But which one do you like more?
I like wet sanding because it's not dust. Wet sanding keeps the paper clean, keeps the dust down because there is no dust, and it prolongs your paper life. So I fold my paper hot dog, and then I fold a hamburger. So I cut 2 hot dogs out, then I cut my hot dog into a hamburger. Then I cut my 2 hamburgers out. Then
You fold
I cut my hamburger into a hot dog. Then I tear it again. Where's Colton and Owen for this debate?
I bet
Then-
Owen doesn't even know about hot dog and
I
hamburger.
hot dog my hamburger again. Then I know that is the perfect size for this little block because I've done it 1,000 times and I just know. Then I have the perfect size paper, fit on my block, and we're ready to rock and roll. Hot dog to hamburger to hot dog to hamburger. So with my 600, I'm just going to start bearing down on that run, and I will show you, it will start showing up. You don't know where your run is? This acrylic block will find it, I promise you. Because this acrylic block does not lie to you. This isn't your mom. So I'm going to tell you how good of a job you did, and it'd actually be a crappy job. It's literally going to show you every imperfection that you have, all your flaws, and you're going to crisscross cut it. And I can feel the grit cutting. I'm not using any pressure. I'm just sanding. So what I'm doing is where I don't have guide coat yet, I'm just feeling with my braille if the run's still there or not. You can actually feel where you're sanding, and I can see the texture grain difference, so I can see where I've sanded and where I haven't, and I can see that there's still a little bit right there. It's coming out really well through here, and then I can feel a little bit more grain right here. But I'm gonna get new paper, so I cut flat. All right, I'm gonna wipe this off, show you guys what this section looks like all 600 grit. All right, from what it started at to where it's at, this is just 600 grit. It's actually pretty decent. Got a little bit there, tiny bit here, a little bit there, a little bit in this area. So I'm gonna take and just detail sand those real quick with some 600. Then we're gonna move on to this area. We'll get that all sanded out. The thing about sanding is after you do it, you can feel that it's sanding flat, and you're going to get a really even, like, compound look. Everything is kind of uniform once you get it cut. So before it's cut, you can feel the sandpaper in the block slipping. It's just not really doing, well, it's doing what it needs to, but it's not cutting completely flat. So there's a little bit of texture that's not sanded out, but the run itself is out. So I'm going to leave this section. I'm going to move on to the letters.
What are you doing?
Just looking.
What?
Auto Metal Direct, because we're going to team up with them on the Blazer. So I was looking at their catalog because I need a bunch of stuff. But we need to get back to work. I got sidetracked. So, I'm going to keep sanding. Want to see what a clear icicle looks like? There you have it. So this is what happens after 600. Icicle, gone. Now, we got these icicles. So I'm just going to go letter by letter and sand them out. So now that I'm doing a little bit of sanding, you can just see how terrible this is. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly buzz over everything and just really get a feel for where we're at and how bad this truly is. Then we'll be able to see it better on camera. That looks so bad. The O is the worst. I thought the R was the worst.
No, the O. The E is pretty bad too.
It's what happens when you're tired. You should just go home.
What happened was you weren't listening to your sprays.
Wasn't listening to my hands. All right, I'm through the Chev. It's 4 letters. There's 9 letters in Chevrolet.
And you're on the worst half.
Now, I'm on the worst half. But look at how, so this is just 600 grit. Now remember, this is the first step. But this is the hardest, most critical step because what I'm doing is I'm cutting texture, I'm cutting runs, I'm cutting imperfections. And the thing about this tailgate is we didn't flat sand it and make it perfectly straight. So it's not gonna be flawless, but it's gonna be pretty dang good. So I'm all pruned up. We're just about halfway through. So I'm just gonna show you guys how, in real time, we're gonna sand this R right here. You can see how it starts to look. We've scuffed it off. We're gonna flat sand all that, and then we're gonna flat sand all of this. All right, so you can see this is what we want it to look like. So this section's all sanded good. Now that needs to be sanded and all of this. So what I'm gonna do now is focus right in here. And I gotta go up that little guy. And I've decided not to do anything inside the white. When Jason comes, I'm gonna really test his skills and see how well he can sand. So we're gonna save that for him, okay? That's the plan. So anyway, you can hear it rubbing. Now, listen to this. It actually has a sound difference when it is flat sanding versus going over ridges and runs and drips and all the other stuff. All right. We have the back 600 gridded. So step 1 is finished. Now we've got to guide coat it all, and we're going to hit it with 800. Now the 800, I'm going to figure out which block to use, but this one we only use my 3-inch acrylic block. Now the reason it takes so long is this is so flat that it will only cut perfectly flat, so it doesn't sand very quick, and it doesn't remove very much clear at a time as if you used a soft pad or a sponge or soft backing acrylic block. And now, don't get me wrong, this is not perfectly straight. If you look down this, it's not going to be perfectly straight. It is definitely imperfect. But we'll get this guide coated, and we'll move it on to 800. So I've got a weird little run right here. So I'm using the most microscopic acrylic block that you can barely even hold. Look at that. So big. But it's working. So I just need to whittle that for a minute. I was just about ready to guide coat. All right, we are moving on to the step that I've been saying we're going to do for a long time. So here we are, guide coating everything that we just sanded. Now this is going to make it look like it's a complete mess. But this is going to show you every single place that you sanded. So when you go back over it with the next grit, you don't miss anything. Because you have to sand the black out in order to move on. Put a nice layer of black on everything. It's got to look like this before it can look good. It's all a part of the process. There you go. It's everything guide coated. Now we start over. I think it's like step 3. We get our 800 grit and we start going over it. So I'm going to figure out which block to use. We might just use the same block, but I'll figure that out and then I'll update you guys in just a second. All right, just called to get a refresher, make sure I'm good. So what I did there is we did the 600 with flat acrylic. Now the 800, we want to soften it a little bit because I told you guys how hard acrylic is. So I'm going to use this foam-backed acrylic block, and we're going to 800. Now this is going to allow us to cut those grooves and sanding imperfections from the 600. So we're just going to start deleting all of our 600 grit. And I wish you guys could feel this. There's such a difference in sanding with an acrylic versus soft back padding. Now the amount of time it took me to sand the 600, it's going to take me about half the time to do 800 because of the foam backing on this block. It's weird. I don't know the science behind it, but it is science. Yeah, bud.
Where's Daddy?
She's outside. I'm sure of it. Of course she always is.
But she always is?
Yeah, hers always tanning.
We have just sanded the blue truck.
We have?
Yeah.
You did it too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is the blue color it used to be. And now this is the new color.
Don't drive us. You're not allowed to.
It doesn't look the same.
All right, so the 800 grit step is done. Now we're gonna re-guide coat this again. So for step like 47, guide coat, and then we're gonna get 1000 grit. Now after the 1000 grit, I don't think I need to go to 1500 because we're not flat sanding this perfect. We're just deleting scratches. So I'm gonna go from 1000 to 2000. Then we're gonna get a DA with 3000 and 8000, and then we're gonna buff it. So we're getting closer. The real hard part is done, but at least the runs are out. That makes me happy. It's not destroyed. It's not ruined like I thought. All right, we're on to the 1000 grit. So we're using our foam back pad again with acrylic. And we're just gonna 1000 grit this entire tailgate and repeat the process for 2000. All right, so that was the end of 1000 grit. So we've gone 600 guide coat, 800 guide coat, 1000. We're gonna guide coat it now, and then we're hitting it with 2000. Now this is the last step by hand. After the 2000, we're getting a DA, and we're gonna DA 3000 and 8000 this. So I have a little spot right here that I still need to do with some 1000 just to get this little edge fixed, but I'm just gonna do that off camera real quick, and we'll show you guys the guide coat, 2000, and all the other stuff. And then we get to start buffing it. All right, so we're using the same exact block as before, 2000 grit wet, sand. Let's have a sand party. All right, so as you can see, we're going through the courses. Now we've just done 2000, and this is starting to get shinier. So I'm gonna guide coat it again and then Trizact 3000 that. And what that is it's a 6-inch piece of sandpaper that's foamed back from 3M. So this is 3000 grit on my polishing DA. This is gonna go quick. We'll do the 3000, then 8000, and then it's buffing time. All right, so I just got done with the 3000. Now this is a step where a lot of people would just go straight to polishing because it's a very polishable grit. But I'm gonna go to 8000 just because it makes it even easier. But check this out, it is almost to polish stage. Now when I say almost to polish stage, I mean, let me show you the light. You can dang near see a reflection on that now. But you'll be able to see from 3000 to 8000 just how much of a difference it really makes. All right, so it's time to guide coat and go to 8000. So we're like 2 steps away from buffing it. It's just taking me all day. Now keep in mind before you come at me and say I didn't polish the upper half or I didn't take that run out, I understand that. But this is a demonstrational purposes video to teach you guys how to cut runs out. So Jason Kilmer, my really good buddy that polishes, he's actually gonna come out in about a month and he's gonna cut and polish this entire truck. He's gonna be here for 6 days with a helper and they're gonna do what they do best. Now I'm more than capable of doing this, but I am about 7 hours solid into sanding this right now. Just for a little, so you know how much time it took. So this is it, 8000 grit Trizact. It literally doesn't even feel like anything, but it's something. It's a lot. I'm gonna start over here and show you guys. This is literally gonna almost mirror, it's almost gonna turn into a mirror just with this sandpaper. Look at that. It is just about as glossy as the clear. We haven't even ran a buffer over it, but it needs to gloss up a little bit more. So we've got 8,000 done. Look at that. Tailgate is saved. All right, so everything's sanded. This is ready to be buffed, but I don't want to buff it without the truck being masked off because I'm going to get compound all over, and it's like almost 8 o'clock at night. So I'm going to go home, and in the morning, we're going to get this thing shined up, and we're going to have it all finished, and you guys will have been taken through step by step on how to fix the world's worst clear coat room. By me, yours truly, Robby. So anyway, it is tomorrow. All right, we're back. So we're gonna mask everything off. Now, the only reason we're masking everything off is to minimize how much cleanup we're gonna have after buffing. So if you don't wanna scrub all the compound from buffing after you buff, take some preventative measures, mask things up. So Hector's gonna be helping us getting it clean tomorrow. So we're trying to help Hector out. Help your Hector out. All right, we're back to, I think we're on step 27. I actually don't know what step, but I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial video. This is a little bit out of my comfort zone. I like to do a lot of other stuff, but if you guys like this tutorial type video, drop some video ideas that you guys might like to see, like how to do this, how to do that. Something that I can do in one video and teach you guys how to do something. And then maybe we'll change it up, you know, maybe one video a month or something, we do some sort of auto body or painting or automotive style tutorial. Let me know. Anyway, so now we are to the step where I'm going to rotary buff this. So what that is I've got my rotary buffer. So this is a buffer you can get at Harbor Freight. This is a Bauer. It's very inexpensive, but this thing is sweet. Now, the only thing that we have had to do to this is we cracked the head open, we changed the grease with some quality grease, and this buffer will run just like a Milwaukee, like a DeWalt, like any other rotary buffer on the market. Love this thing. So if you're looking for something inexpensive, Harbor Freight's your friend. But anyway, I've got a lamb's wool Merca pad on here. I'm gonna get my compound. This is cut number 1, my Oberk cut. So this is Supreme Cut. You guys can get this at Oberk, supremecarcare.com. These guys are my buddies. They're who do Gloss University. So basically, we're gonna compound it up. That's a lot. I know that's a lot, but my pad is clean, so I wanna load my pad up. So, I'm just gonna spread my compound out now. I'm gonna lock in. I'm at 1800 RPM. Now I'm using a little bit of pressure, but not a lot. I'm letting my compound do the work. And my rotary, we're just eliminating those scratches. And you don't want to stay in the same spot for very long, or you're going to do what's called burning your clear. You're going to heat it up, and you're going to pull it off with the base coat, then you're repainting. So don't do that. Make sure you're moving. I'm getting a little bit up in this corner, but I'm going to use my detail buffer on all my edges because this rotary is not going to fit in there. I know I'm talking. I'll say it again as soon as I'm done. So just watch. All right, that's just step 1. So the finer grit you go, the easier it is to buff. So that's step 1 with a wool pad. Look at that though. Some might say, that's already polished. Now, I'll refine it all with a light, and I'll go and I'll double check and make sure there's no scratches anywhere. But for now, I'm gonna continue going down the rest of it, and then we'll get our detail buffer, and I'll show you how to use the detail buffer here in just a minute. So anyway, look at how good that looks. So I've got the whole thing rotary cut with wool. So I'm just going through and just wiping off my compound. Leaves a little bit of a residue, but that's normal. So I'm using a good clean microfiber. And then I want to, what do you think, sweetie? How's it look? Can you say wow?
Wow.
What's tomorrow?
My birthday?
Your birthday? How old are you gonna be? 7 years old. Tomorrow is little Adley's 7th birthday. Look, she has no clue. She's standing next to the coolest truck in the world. At 7 years old. What a life. I wish at 7 I was standing next to my dad's C10 short bed that he just built in front of my eyes. Wouldn't that be cool?
No.
That wouldn't be cool? That was rude. I'll take it. I'm taking her to swimming lessons tomorrow. She wants me to take her. Holy crap.
Why does that? Why does that?
All right, so there's a little bit more right here that I need to refine with wool. So I'm gonna do that off camera, but then we're gonna go to step number 2 of buffing, or 28, or whatever it is. And I'm gonna use my DA style polisher with a microfiber pad. And we're gonna go back over it with the same cut, but the microfiber and the dual action is gonna do a different type of cut, and it's gonna eliminate the rotary swirls. So everything is building that shine out. So I've got all the scratches to about right here, really refined. But from here over, I kind of went a little bit fast. So I'm gonna go, like I said, and fix that. And then we'll come back in with the other buffer and show you guys how that works. And I'm gonna be using my Rupes 15 with a microfiber pad. So we'll be right back. All right, we're using my Rupes. It's got a 15-inch or 15mm throw. It's my Bigfoot. Now this tells you that your RPM range. So if we put it on 1, we're gonna be at 3,000, 2, 3,500, and it goes up. I'm gonna run this bad boy probably around 4,400 RPM. We've got my microfiber Obert Car Care 5-inch cutting pad. Now I'm gonna actually apply 4 driblets of compound directly to the pad. And then we're gonna load the pad because the pad's brand new. So put this flat on your surface, start it. Now it's a little. Let's turn it down a little bit, it's a little much. So now, let the dual action do its thing. You always want to start and stop on your panel. You don't ever want to pull it away, start it, and push it, because that'll just cause issues. I'm gonna put more compound. It's a brand new pad, so it's not really got much compound in it. There's no compound on the panel because I wiped it all off. So, anyway, load it up. Now you want to be really careful on your edges. I like to go both directions, just kind of working it. All right, now once I've got my pad good and it's cutting and I've got enough compound, I will do sections at a time. So I'll do about a 12 by 12 inch section, and I'll go this way, and then I'll go this way, and I'll do it 2 or 3 different times, making sure that I'm refining those scratches. I'm gonna do up in the top, but you wanna be careful with any buffer on your edges because you don't wanna rip clear. So when you're going right here with the rotary, you don't wanna be ripping your rotary back this way across this edge because you can grab that edge and peel your clear. A DA buffer, like this one, is gonna be a lot more forgiving than a rotary. This one you can kind of go on the edges and it's not a super big deal. So once you're refining this, once you wipe it, you'll grab your light and you'll run your light across your clear and you'll check for scratches and make sure that the fruits of your labor are showing up. So as you can see, the actual buffing process itself doesn't take that much time as long as you refine your scratches enough during the sanding process. So where I sanded to 8,000, this process is gonna go pretty quick. We're gonna get through it. So again, clean microfiber. We're gonna eliminate all this compound and check our work. And you can feel as you're getting all your compound off, the rag actually moves on the panel way easier when it's clean. There's resistance when there's compound on it because the rag is catching the compound. All right, now it's time to step back. Look at how good your work looks, but then take the light and just check for scratches. So I'm gonna check all my edges. That's pretty dang good, actually. We are getting close. Got a few little micro scratches there. My edges like I knew, but for the most part, yeah, we just need to refine a few more little baby scratches. And the bad part about this is you're constantly scratching because anytime you touch clear coat, you scratch it, whether you're washing it or whatever you're doing. So, anyway, we're gonna move on to the next step. All right, so here's my baby, my Nano Bigfoot hybrid. Anyway, by Rupes. So this is what I'm gonna refine all my edges. We've got my pad. I'm gonna crank this baby up. Anyway, we're just gonna get all these little areas. And then I know that this edge I stayed away from. I need to refine this. Now, if I was gonna polish down inside these letters really perfect, this is what I would use. I would come along and I would use this pad to really get down in there in the letters. So, I didn't do anything. So all I'm doing is trying to get compound out of those. But let's do this edge that I know needs some refinement. Okay, let's get that wiped up. Okay. Now remember, the longer you take, more time you put into something, better it's gonna be. So there's definitely some more refinement that I could do on this, but for video's purposes and to teach you guys, I'm showing you the basics of how to do it and have a 7-year-old come in and scratch it.
Yay.
Okay, watch out, sweetheart. All right, we're close on that. All right, moving on. We are gonna be using a 5.5-inch red Supreme polish pad. Now, hold on, I got the wrong one. Good thing I said that out loud. So the cool thing about Oberk is they color coordinate. So this is a Supreme medium polish pad, yellow. We're gonna be using Sol medium polish. So we're on to the polish steps. This one goes with this. Then we're gonna be using polish step 2, which is Supreme. And I wish you could touch this. This is medium density and this is super soft. So anyway, as you polish, things get softer. Now on this step, we're not gonna be doing a whole lot of cutting. But I'm gonna dot it up, load it up. You just saw my pad run away. About as scary as it gets when it's super dry. So I'm gonna put a little bit more compound, get it loaded up a little bit more, and then finish the rest of the tailgate. All right, now to really get the full effect, you'd want to do that 2 or 3 times. You know, really dial it in, wipe it off, check your work, make sure you're refining all those scratches, make sure there's nothing being left behind. This is the polish stage, so you want to get that gloss and the absolute beauty of your clear coat to shine through, which it definitely is. But one more step. So hurry and get this wiped up and we'll move on to the final step. All right, on to our final step. We're using our final final pad. We're gonna put 4 to 6 pea-sized dots to load the pad initially. So initially we're gonna do about 4 to 6, load the pad, and then we're gonna reapply about 2 drops as we're going. And this is just light pressure. We're just polishing. This is our final polish. It's gonna give us that beautiful, beautiful luster. All right, last but not least, use a quality microfiber that's clean and get all the polish residue off. Now, finally, step back and take a look at your work and admire how far you've came in this episode of how to cut and polish the most disastrous runs on the face of the earth. You know, a commenter told me, he's an old painter, he said, those aren't runs, those are curtains. And I think you're right. These were curtains. All right, so there you have it. We walked you through all of the steps. We went through sanding block selection. We went through grits of sandpaper. We started with 600. We ended at 8,000. We went every step in between. We showed you guide codes to use. We showed you sanding techniques, how to crisscross. We showed you compounds, pad selection, buffer selection, everything you need to know, how to cut and polish. Now, if you need to cut and polish something that's not this big, just take all those steps and cut them down. So if you have a little spot this big, just do the steps we taught you and tackle your own projects. Now, if this was helpful, make sure you guys drop a comment. If you hated this video, let me know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. And as always, oh wait, we're not to that point. Don't forget, we're giving this truck away. So head over to RobbyLayton.com. For every $5 you spend, you'll get entered to win this truck and take home this beautiful tailgate that I just polished for you. Don't forget that starting today, for every $5 you spend at RobbyLayton.com, you're getting entered to win this awesome $500 value Bluetooth speaker. So this is going to be going on until next Tuesday night at midnight. That's one full week. So yeah, we're done with 20X entries, but now we have a super awesome speaker that I know one of you want. So head to RobbyLayton.com, get yourself an awesome shirt, get yourself an awesome sticker, a Velcro patch, a key tag, get yourself one of our super cool hats. We've got so many, make sure you get them all, okay? We have 1, 2, 3, we have 12 different hats. That's pretty cool. So I remember when we used to only have one, but get yourself America Vintage sticker, get yourself an America Red sticker, heck, get yourself a pink OG sticker for the boss. Doesn't matter what you get, just go get it. Love your guys' support, and this week only, every entry is getting you entered into that Bluetooth speaker. So don't wait, head to RobbyLayton.com right now. We appreciate all you guys' support, so if you never quit, you'll never fail. Thanks for watching. Was that good? Did that work?
Oh, wow. That's so cute.